Hunter x Hunter is the story of a young boy, Gon Freaks, who was told all his life that his parents died in an accident when he was young. At the age of 9, however, Gon finds out that his father isn't only alive, but he's a world-renowned, licensed professional called a hunter. Hunters are people who, through an absolutely insane qualification exam, have proven themselves to be the most elite members of humanity. By passing this hunter exam, an applicant is rewarded with a license to go almost anywhere in the world and do almost anything they want. Drawn towards the magic contained within the word unknown, hunters devote themselves to tracking down priceless items, mystical places, and the unseen wonders of the world. Gon wants to meet his father again and find out what makes being a hunter so great that he'd be willing to abandon his own son for it. I watched Hunter x Hunter for the first time when I was in 6th grade. It's a beautiful story of triumph, tragedy, and personal growth that contains within it life lessons that I still find valuable to this very day. It's a very important part of my childhood, and I hope I can do it justice. For the 2011 version, there are 7 different arcs, making a total of 148 episodes. I'll be summarizing every single one, with a specific emphasis on subtle moments of character growth and lessons applicable to our everyday life that so many other recap channels gloss over. Along those lines, within my summaries, I'll be making callbacks to the 1999 version that parallels the 2011 anime to expand on the story and lessons the show is trying to teach you. Now, without further ado, focused for the past week straight, trying to catch a massive fish called the Lord of the Lake to get permission from his aunt, Mito, to take the hunter exam and start his journey to find his dad. But wait, how does Gon even know his dad is alive? The 1999 version gives us context. Three years before the main story takes place, someone with a hunter's license arrives at Wei Island and saves Gon's life. After Gon tries to get up, the man punches him back to the ground, calling him stupid for being in the forest at this time of year. He yells at Gon, saying that the bear had marked his territory and that his father should have taught him something this simple. The man is annoyed, saying that he can't believe he had to make such a disgusting kill. As he's walking away though, Gon says that he never had a father to teach him these things. The man apologizes, but Gon says it's alright and thanks him for saving him. The man then says he has to kill the cub because it'll starve to death soon and is likely to attack humans in the future. But Gon protects it and says he'll raise it himself. The man says it's impossible, but the determination in Gon's eyes convinces him and reminds him of someone he knows. The next day, Gon is seen going out of his way to dig a grave for the mother bear. The man helps him and finally introduces himself. His name is Kite, and he's a hunter. When Gon asks him what a hunter is, he says that the world is full of mysteries. A hunter is someone who pursues those mysteries and things that are hard to obtain. Gon asks him why he's here, and Kite says that he's trying to find his teacher as a final test to earn his approval, but that it's harder than any hunt he's ever done. Later, Kite asks Gon what his dad's name is. Gon says, Jing Freaks. Kite tells Gon that his father is alive, and we learn that Jing is Kite's teacher. He says that Jing, Gon's father, is the best hunter in the world. Now that we really understand Gon's motivation, we can come back to the present where he's trying to reel in the Lord of the Lake. The last person to land this fish was Gon's dad 20 years ago, and nobody has been able to do it since. Not even 5 grown men working together were able to, yet Gon does it anyway, just like his dad did in the past. This was supposed to be an impossible challenge set by Mito to prevent Gon from taking the hunter exam, but now that he's done it, she can no longer refuse his wish. Mito reminds Gon that his dad abandoned him to become a hunter, trying to convince him to stay. But surprisingly, Gon takes this as even more reason to go, saying that it must be an amazing job if he'd be willing to abandon his own son for it. Mito tells Gon that he could die at any time if he gets this job, but he's unaffected, just genuinely curious to learn more. He says he wants to become a hunter and find out for himself why it's so important to his dad. After seeing just how serious he is, Mito's finally convinced to let him go. She says that he really is just like his dad. During a heartfelt goodbye, Gon promises that he'll come back safe to see Mito and her grandmother again. Gon makes a pinky promise, and they both sing that whoever breaks their promise has to eat 1,000 needles. It's something that they've been doing since Gon was young, and Mito can't hold back her tears seeing him leave. After boarding the ship that's supposed to take him to the hunter exam location, he yells to the encouraging crowd that he'll come back when he's the best hunter in the world. But the atmosphere changes fast. After he says that, the other passengers mock him and laugh at him, saying millions of professionals apply each year and that he wouldn't have a chance. How does he react? Well, Gon doesn't care, and this is what sets him apart. He'd have absolutely no chance at finding his dad if he let these guys get to him even a little bit. How would you have reacted if you were in his situation? Really, take a second to think about it. If you aren't happy with your honest answer, you need to start making changes right now. Gon notices Katsuo being bullied by his mates. When the captain orders the group to get back to work, Gon helps him out and gives him a smile. Gon then suddenly tells the captain that a storm is coming. When the captain asks how he knows, he says it's what the birds are saying to each other. He does some sick parkour to get up high where he can check the moisture content of the air with his nose, and confirms that the storm will be a huge one. After he says this, the captain gets a chance to look at Gon's eyes, and he's reminded of Gon's father, who, 20 years ago, rode on that same ship and correctly predicted an approaching storm before anybody else. Well, it turns out Gon was right, and now nearly every applicant on the ship is seasick, except for just 3. Those 3 people are Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio. The captain summons them and asks them why they want to become hunters. Gon immediately says it's to find out why his dad wanted to become one, and Leorio and Kurapika refuse to answer. That's until the captain reveals that he was hired to trim down the number of applicants for the exam because there's always too many. He says that if they don't answer, they will automatically fail the exam. In other words, the exam had already started, and nobody realized it. This causes Kurapika to reveal that he's the last survivor of a clan called the Kurta, and that they were annihilated by a group of thieves called the Phantom Troop. Kurapika wants to become a bounty hunter and hunt them down. Leorio says that if he just wants revenge, he doesn't need to be a hunter. Kurapika calls him an idiot and explains that hunters have way more freedom than the average person to information, places, and actions. Gon diffuses the tension by asking Leorio why he wants to become a hunter. He says he'll make it short, saying that he just wants money. With it, he can buy a big house, a nice car, and good liquor. Kurapika tells Leorio that he can't buy class, and Leorio replies by saying that that's the 3rd time he's addressed him improperly. He insults the Kurta, telling Kurapika to meet him outside so he can end their filthy bloodline. Gon tells the captain to let them settle it themselves. He says that his Aunt Mito told him a long time ago that if you ever want to get to know someone, you need to make an effort to learn why they're angry. At the same time, the crew were trying to lower the sails to avoid a nearby waterspout that's threatening to sink the entire ship. The wind causes Katsuo to be thrown off, and Leorio and Kurapika in that split second both decide to try and save him. Where unfortunately, they miss. But suddenly, Gon jumps off the ship after Katsuo, and the other 2 catch him by the legs. And in this one moment, we get a true understanding of who these people are. The next day, when the storm clears, Kurapika and Leorio scold Gon for doing something so dangerous. They tell him that if they hadn't caught him, he'd be dead, but Gon says it's alright because they did catch him after all. Katsuo joins to thank Gon, but he says he couldn't have done it without Kurapika and Leorio, so Katsuo thanks all 3 of them for saving his life. Kurapika sees Leorio acting completely different from his first impression, and realizes he's a good person after all. This causes Kurapika to be the first to apologize for everything that happened earlier, and Leorio does the same and takes back everything he said. The captain overhears this reconciliation and says he himself will be responsible for taking them as close to the exam site as he can. He reveals that all 3 of them have passed his preliminary hunter exam. And with that, the very first of 148 episodes of Hunter x Hunter is done. Thank you so very much for watching, and have a good one.